All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up right where we left off with the previous problems. All right, so if you will write this problem down. And we're going to try to factor this three-term expression right here, 12x minus 42y minus 3. All right, we know that we have to find the GCF, so I'm going to put the 12, the 42, and the 3 over here. I'm going to start with the 3. We know to factor the 3, or 1 and 3. 1 times 3 is 3. For 12, we'll do the two easy ones first. 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And so that lists all my factors for 12. For 42, 1 and 42. 2 and 21. 3 and 14. And 6 and 7, as we all know. So as I look at my factors, I have a 1 in common. I have a 3 in common. I have a 2 in common with 2 of them, and I have that 6, but I can only use what's in common in all 3. So with this, my GCF for 12, 42, and 3 is going to be 3. So let me take just a minute and highlight this so that you'll know. Copy that down, please. All right, so I'm going to go back over here, take my GCF, put it on the outside, and then I'm going to take each one of these terms and divide it by 3. So 12 divided by 3 gives you 4, so I'm going to put the 4 there. 42 divided by 3 gives you 14, so I'm going to put that there. Bring down the minus sign. 3 divided by 3 is 1. All right, so I factored out each one of these, the 12, the 42, and the 3, by this 3 on the outside. Now what I need to do is look at my variables. I don't have any variables in common to factor out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave my variables inside the problem. So my answer is 3 times 4x minus 4y minus 1. So if you'll take just a second, copy that down. All right. Give me just a minute to do this core bite. Very similar to the other ones. It'll take just a couple minutes, and if you will, do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and pause the video, work these. Now start it back, and then you can work number 5. And again, we will kind of go over these tomorrow. All right, what I want you to do, we're going to now talk about like terms. Like terms, and if you will, copy this down. Like terms are terms that have identical variable parts. What I mean by variable parts, they have the same variable, and those variables have the same exponent. Okay? So, let's look at this. 2x and 3y. I'm sorry, 2x and negative 3x. It does not matter about the coefficient. All that matters is the variable. They both have an x and an x, so those are like terms. The 2x squared and the negative 3x squared. They both have an x, and those two variables have the same exponent of 2. 2xy, negative 3xy. They both have an xy. And then a lot of students get this part, they don't think about just regular numbers. Regular numbers such as 2 and negative 3, they're just whole numbers. They are like terms because any number, doesn't matter if it's a whole number, a fraction, decimal, they're like terms with another number as long as it does not have a variable. All right, let's look at the right side. The 2x and the 2y, excuse me, they are not like terms because one has an x and one has a y. 2x squared, negative 3x. They both have an x, but they do not have a square. That negative 3x is missing a square, so those are not like terms. So I'm going to put an x there. 2xy and 2x. This has an xy. The 2x does not have a y, so those are not like terms. All right, and we have the negative 2 and the negative 3y. The 2 is a whole number. The negative 3y has a variable. One has a variable, one does not, so those are not like terms. All right, let's now talk about combining like terms. When we combine like terms, what we're going to do is combine the coefficients of the terms that are alike. So I have 9x. I'm going to add that to 7x. They have like terms, the x and the x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the coefficients. 9 plus 7 is 16. We'll just put the x there. So my answer of 9x plus 7x is 16x. Over here, I have y plus 2.5y. The y and the 2.5y, they're like terms. They both have a y. Some of you may have forgotten, but if the variable does not have a coefficient, it's understood to be 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2.5 and I'm going to add it to 1. Now remember, when you have a problem like this, make sure you line up the decimals. That one whole would line up under the 2, which would give us 1.0. So my answer, when I add these, would be 3.5. So my answer would be 3.5y. Now I also have that minus 3y. So I'm just kind of taking this in steps. So if I'm going to subtract 3 from it, so what I'm going to do is my board's messing up again. I'm going to subtract 3 from it. So I've got to line up my decimals, line it up the correct way, bring down the 5. 3 times 3 is 3 minus 3 is 0. So that gives me 0.5y. Again, over here on the right is where I kind of show my work. I know some of you may need to show your work, some of you may not need to show your work. All right, let's try this one. We have 17x plus 3xy minus 4y minus 5xy minus 20x. All right, first thing I'm going to do, let's go through and identify the like terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the ones that are like. That 17x, there's nothing else that has, I'm sorry, is there anything else that has an x? There is, there's that minus 5x. All right, what about the 3xy? Is there anything else that has an xy? There is not, so that one kind of stands on its own. All right, what about that minus 4y? Is there anything else that has a y? There is not. All right, oops, I'm making all kinds of mistakes today. That minus 20x, that one goes along with the 17x and that minus 5x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my like terms. I've got 17x minus 5x. So just think about it mathematically. 17 minus 5 gives you 12. All right, so then I'm going to take that, 12 minus 20. 12 minus 20, you're combining the terms with different signs. That 12 is positive, that 20 has a minus sign in front of it, so those are different signs, so I subtract. 20 minus 12 is 8, take the sign of the bigger number, which gives us a negative 8. So this one, and this one, when I combine them, give you negative 8x. All right, let's go now to this one. There's nothing else that goes with it, so I'm going to just bring it down. So I've taken care of that one. Trying to just X through it. Is there anything that goes with that minus 4y? There's not. So again, I'm going to just bring that one down. So I'm just kind of crossing out what I've used. So now I have negative 8x plus 3xy minus 4y. And those right there cannot be combined, so my simplified answer is that in itself.